Let's go live. Let's go live. Let's go live and see what happens. Hello. I'm going live and it's super random. Hope you guys are doing well today. I didn't even advertise this, so I literally do not expect anybody to join. So what I'm going to do real quick is post a link somewhere so maybe some people can actually see that we're live, and then that would be cool. Probably I should have done that before starting the stream, but it doesn't matter anyways. I'm going to be looking at the crude oil markets in this stream, my friends. The crude oil markets, as well as whichever other markets. I want to make sure my mics are not peaking as well. And I'm going to click on share, and then I'm going to go over to Telegram, because that's my favorite messaging platform. And my video is going to get banned just for saying that, I know, because YouTube hates Telegram with a burning passion. Live on YouTube. Go. There we go. By the way, I type over 100 words per minute. I don't know why I said that. I just like to show off. So we're going to look at the markets. I guess I should get the live chat up there. Probably no one's going to join anyways, but it doesn't matter. Oh, it says concurrent viewers 10. Wow. Okay, hello. Well, let's look at the markets and see what happens today here. It's FOMC, and I'm honestly not too much expecting very much. So I'm looking at oil trading in this range here between $80.30, $80.60 on the high end. The Z contract, I'm looking at the Canadian dollar against the US dollar. US dollar against the Canadian dollar, which is a market that I watch quite frequently because I do business in Canada and the USA. And what else? I was looking a bit at gold, so we'll just take a look at that. Let's see here. I haven't streamed in like years, so it's I'm a little rusty, guys. Give me a little break, okay? It's just me. Hello. What's going on, dude? Grim Brev, my one friend, has joined this stream. We need music. That's what we need. Check this out. We're gonna go and get some Glenn Miller. This is a demonetized stream because I don't care about money. I'm already rich. All right, so let me know if you guys can hear everything okay. Can you hear the mic good? Can you hear everything good? Okay, you know what? No, realistically, we're going to go a bit harder today. Just a bit. So my analysis on the oil markets is as follows. As you can see, hopefully, let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Hi, Chris. I'm glad I've met you in person. You're doing a great job. So you're that guy that pulls up on my street and is like, hey, you're that guy from YouTube, bro. Stop, man. That was... Anyways, that's cool, man. Good to meet you. Hope you got your coffee ready. I'm not much of a live streamer, but I'll do my best. So oil's trading down into this, into an area that I would consider interesting, which would be anything below 80 bucks is interesting, especially if we get a considerable flush into this area. So I'm just going to prepare my trade window in Sierra Chart in case we get something. Say 60 tick, that's okay. Good till canceled. Time enforced, good till canceled. That's all good. And basically, I'm just watching this. So here's the 15. Here's the daily chart. Actually, this is a weekly chart. Did you get rid of Jigsaw? You're a little late to the party, my friend. It's been I think it's been over 2 years that I haven't used Jigsaw. Like I said here, anything below 80 bucks on crude oil is interesting for me. Right now, it's very random. It's very spready. It's going up and down like crazy. There's quite a bit of volatility. You could say, give or take 10 ticks, 10, 12 to 15 ticks. It's been moving up here, up and down. I'm not looking to scalp it or anything, but I am interested in a bigger play if we can potentially see a flush down below 80 bucks, 79.90, 79.37. As you can see there on my chart, there's two weekly chart levels. as low as 78.39. But it all depends on the velocity, you know. Basically, what I'm considering here today is if we can get any kind of quick velocity to the downside in crude oil, I think that will be viable for a short-term scalp. Do you day trade with a weekly chart on the screen? That's so funny, man. Bring on the roasting comments. That's true. I do, actually. I happen to switch between multiple charts, daily, weeklies, 15 minutes, point and figures, short term, 1 minute, 3 minute, whatever I need, whatever is necessary. The crude oil pit session close is about to happen here, and I'm expecting it to close right around $80. That's what it kind of looks like it's going to do here. We're right above 80 bucks. And we have FOMC. Well, you know, the big guy's probably talking on the mic here. He's going to start talking on the mic in a couple of minutes. And that's it. I have to get my, what do you call it? My armor shined because I haven't been streaming for super long, so I'm not gonna be super used to the comment roasting. Let's just leave it at that, because I do expect to get roasted quite a bit in the comments, because you know that's kind of how YouTube is these days. I don't know if you guys have looked at a short. I've looked at the comment section on YouTube Shorts. It seems that it's just a big roast fest half the time. Anyways, yo, what's up, bro? Hope you guys are having a good day. Can you guys hear everything good? Can you hear me good and all that? Probably the music's real low. Bring it up a little bit in volume. I can't hear it because if I put it on volume here, it's going to bleed into the mic, and then you're going to hear two audio signals. You're going to hear the one from the mic as well as the one I'm streaming to you guys. We civil, no harassments. I know. I don't pick up enough clout to get fucking brutally harassed on the internet yet. But I see it happen all over the place. Oh my goodness. Oil is not doing much, but I'm keeping an eye on it, a close eye on it. The gold is also not doing much. We saw a little bit move up and then it chopped and went sideways. And the other thing I was watching is the Canadian dollar, so let's watch that. And it's doing nothing, basically. I think the Canadian dollar is in an uptrend, and I think it has to do with the war narrative. I traded it last week. I tried a little short position on it. It worked intraday, but then I kept it a little too long. Since then, it's been a long trade, and I did consider going long, but I didn't want to go long. I was wanting to play the reclaim to the short side on this 137.900 area. Talking about the USD against the CAD. It was just setting up. It had a pretty good little swing set up there, which I thought was reasonable. But since then, it's been trending up, and I still think contextually the bigger trend on this market is up. Although that can change quite quickly, and if it does reclaim, if it starts reclaiming down to those areas again, I mean, now what we have is it's establishing a new trading range up here above these 138, 1.38. So the context is changing. The longer it stays up here, the longer it accepts the price up here. You know, I guess you could say it's less likely that it's going to go straight away and reclaim those levels I was looking at. So it's basically forming new ranges up here. I do think that the longer it stays up here, the higher likelihood it's going to go higher and continue up to these 139s. Because based on my analysis, that's the only area. These are the only areas that have reasonable context to start looking to potentially take a short position or unload some short positions. Sorry, unload some long positions, unload some Canadian dollars, unload some US dollars. That's what I meant for Canadians. Because, you know, I don't know if you guys where you guys are from. Let me know where you guys are from in the chat. But you know, I'm in the northern hemisphere, and over here we well, if you do business in the United States as a Canadian, you typically you carry a balance in both currencies. So everyone's always looking for good moments when to exchange their currency. It's pretty typical. So I think that leads to, and again, I'm quoting a guy that I heard on Forex.com talk about this, but it's basically pretty common to see the USDCAD be very range bound, simply because of the trade between the US and Canada, you know, where people are doing business in both places. So it's very range bound and it chops all over the place. Right on, right on. My man's from Ottawa. That's cool. I've been to Ottawa a couple times. Michigan, very cool. I'd like to go there too. Heard it's a nice place. So what I'm gonna try is mute the mic on Discord and put the volume up on my sound card speakers over here because I want to hear the music too because it pumps me up. You know what I'm saying? Lithuania, wow, kind of far. 6132, is that Fibonacci? Yeah, no, 618 is a Fibonacci. What's a 613, Eddie? Tell me, please. I've been obsessed with this type of music, guys, all year. All year it's been this type of freaking music. And there's different vibes, right? Some of it's crazier than others, right? Oil's doing nothing. It's consolidating around $80.60. Ah, that's right, 613 area code. Yeah, it shows how asleep I am. Yeah, it's like I'm so in another world. That's if USDCAD hits your short level, how long are you looking to hold it for? That's a good question, I guess. Well, look, right now I'm not looking for it to hit my short level. I'm not looking to go short right now at all. It has a lot of work to do before I consider shorting it again. Last week it was in play for a short. Exactly, Eddie. You named it. It has a lot of work to do before it can be shortable again, I think. From a retail standpoint, you know, because obviously I'm viewing the market from my own lens, which is the lens of a retail trader, and I have a limited number of resources and tools at my disposal. We all do. And I think when it comes to bigger picture trades, there's certain things that I think you need to see happen before that change the probability of the market doing certain things, you know. And I always see it. Is it 90s? Why does this platform looks like it's from the Stone Age? That's funny. It is. I wish it was the 80s, actually. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. I didn't grow up in my parents grew up in the 80s, but I grew up listening to 80s rock and 80s music. So half of me is from the 80s. The other half is from the future and bringing you guys the crazy stuff from the future. So I was ranting about USDCAD, what he was asking about shorting, and I told him I don't think it's shortable right now. Because, you know, like if you're an institution, right, you have a different perspective on the market. And by institution, I mean really big bank. If you're a really big bank, you have a different perspective on the market than retail traders do, because you have a much greater view into the inventory that you have, you know, whereas retail traders, we don't have that. You know, you can try as hard as you want to think like a bank or think like a large institution, but you don't know what they have to unload on the market. You can only see it after the fact. So that's why I think that you're never going to get the best prices as a retail trader. You never will. You just have to simply accept that. And that's something I've accepted a while back, but you know, it's good to reiterate it. You're not going to get the best prices. It's possible that you do, but you shouldn't aim to get the best prices, because I find that normally when highs and lows are already in, those are the times where you know, it makes sense to trade it, because other traders already also see those things happening, and they also trade on it as well. So you have more likelihood of getting involved with that cascade effect when highs and lows have already been established. Anyways, I don't like to go on these long rants, but I'm sure you guys understand what I'm talking about. Let's see. No, we're going to try something here. Okay. But if you guys are 25 people watching, you should press the like button. That would greatly help this out. And I'd be happy to answer any and all your questions related to trading software. As you guys know, I'm pretty much a platform specialist. And it's not self-proclaimed, by the way. You know, the way some people are like self-proclaimed experts. It's not self-proclaimed. I've been named it a number of millions of times, hundreds of times, I'd say. Is it the 90s? This guy's funny, man. You're also the same guy that told me to return my laptop, so I'm gonna cut you some slack on that one. Pikachu. Go back to playing Pokemon, bro. You're using USDCAD, CFD data, or CME futures? Both, actually. As you can see on my screen here of my 1990s platform. Yeah, so like you can see here, I have USDCAD, which is from FXCM on Sierra Chart, and underneath it is Canadian dollar futures, which I look at just to get a general view about the hedgers in the market. Because let's be honest, I would say, well, I like to think futures contracts have a good balance between commercial entities and speculative entities. But I think that some contracts have more commercial entities. You know, like I think that the futures are very good hedging vehicles. And a lot of institutions will use them to hedge their portfolios. So I think that when it comes to looking at like Canadian dollar futures, Forex futures, things like that, it makes sense that a lot of them would be used to hedge underlying currency exposure when you think of it, because yeah, and the USD CAD just made a big move up there, which is interesting. So that's one thing I'm watching. If we see a continuation up here, that could be interesting. But I don't think it's going to move 700 ticks in the next 2 hours. So that's very unlikely to watch. The markets have pretty much done nothing, I would say. I'm looking at the equity indexes here now. Hello from France. What's up, man? What's going on, Francois? What's going on, Pikachu? What's going on, Name? What's going on, Lupor? What's going on, Yoao? What's going on, Eddie? All you guys in the chat. So gold made a reversal down. However, it's turning back into its 1983.7 support zone, which is an interesting daily chart level. I think it's a reasonably tradable level, but seeing as though we bounced off of that this morning and then chopped for a number of hours and went up and now go back down, I would say there's a decent probability that it can hold up in this area. I'm talking about gold now, GC. But I am missing a bit of context on the XAU chart, so I'm just going to quickly draw in some of those levels. There's one on the daily, which is a 1972.05, 1990 up there. We're not there right now. So gold has room here for another 2 points down. And that could be actually pretty interesting. I think that's the most reasonable, as oil is doing nothing. I'm going to set an alert on oil here on a chart drawing. And I'll just put that as crossing or equal to last price. Alert number 4. Put an alert just in case oil makes a new low. Gold is making lows right now. That's what I'm looking at. 1972, that's what it was. It just traded there right now. Just want to look at my trade window real quick. $1 a tick on micros, you'd be looking at it's coming back into the lows. No, I don't like that one. turn it right off. Put a 30 tick stop in. I'm going to do one contract at a time here. Although it's too spready, but I am watching it. Okay, it traded right down again there to 1972. Buyers came in on XAU, although it's quite going a lot back and forth. I think it's reasonable for a long. Let me change this point and figure. And I'm not showing you guys my main screen. Again, it tries to print lower again. Keeps rejecting. I think I'll try one. I'm filled. I want to see gold stay above 1972. It flushed down again, almost stopped me out on my one lot, and it looks like it will stop me out on my one lot. Yep, I'm stopped out in the one lot. It's okay. That was just a feeler anyways. I will get back in. I will get back in right now with 2 lots. I got one on, not filled on the other. Got filled on second. Looking for any kind of quick move up. But actually, it's a bit of a bigger picture idea. I'm looking to see if it can follow through. If not, I'm just going to... How do you feel about options? I prefer futures. They're better for directional betting. So let's see here. I'm taking a look. Just want to make sure I am trading for $1 a tick here, and I am. Yeah, I am. Should be. I should be, right? Yeah. Use current trade symbol. Okay. It's not looking that good, guys. I'm going to see if I can scalp out. This would be one last chance. Yep, so I'm long 2 micro golds here. It's not going too well. I'm just giving it a couple of minutes here. 1970 even. There's a buyer on the low there. Yeah, I'm close to being stopped out on this. I'm stopped out. Yeah. That's all right. Took a shot on it. Took a shot on that daily chart level. But I'll keep watching it just to see. Meanwhile, crude is doing nothing. It's just in a range. It might bounce, but I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on it. It's trading, it's pretty bearish what it's doing, but it might bounce, but I need to see a few more confirmation signals before I get back right into that. I mean, it's very, very spready. I mean, it's trading like insane. Let me see something. What you guys up to? Are you guys trading anything, or you just watching me look at this? I watch some other streamers sometimes on YouTube just to get an idea of like how clueless they are. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm not. I wonder how good futures is for scalping with versus Forex with footprint. Yeah, you don't use the. I love this track. It's so addicting. There's a buyer sitting there on the micro gold at 1980 and four ticks. It's reasonable. Ah, no, never mind. I was looking at the wrong contract. I thought oil was doing something, but it's not. I have an alert on oil, so that's going to be fine. It's here. Yeah, so gold is bouncing now. Though it's trading right into a weekly level right now, 1983.7 on the futures. It just top ticked that. So that might be, this actually could be a short right there. That's a short. Actually, that's a short signal right into that daily level on it's a scalp. It's a scalp signal actually. So I'll take a one lot. Yeah, I'll take a one lot with a tight stop. It's going through, comes back down. Seller came right back in. I'll sell another if I can get it. I'm not getting filled. Okay, I got filled. Let's see if I can get any kind of quick movement. And I am trading against the bigger picture bounce, so that's something I'm very careful of right now. If it doesn't happen in a few seconds, I'll be out. Just giving my broker a bit of commissions, you know. Right up to the same tick again, same tick again. Okay, I'm filled on the... Okay, I got... Wow. Did I get filled on both of them? I did. I got filled on both targets. Right on that little sweep down. Which is weird because I thought I was working one contract at a time. I know what the problem is. It's because I have the scale in feature enabled on Sierra Chart. Anyways, whatever. It was a little tiny scalp I took for 10 tick scalp right there on two contracts. It's working up for what I did earlier. Still watching gold. That's the only market that's in play for me here, guys, right now. I would also be interested in taking a look at what the crypto markets are doing. I know it was a decent little short right off of a daily level to the tick. What that's called is a top tick of I don't know how to explain it. It's something I know mentally, but it's hard to explain in words because I actually have to explain these things more often to go over them. But it's actually a trade setup that I know from a very long time ago, and I've seen it occur so many times in bonds and crude oil and everything. And it typically works better when the market is more volatile because that increases the chances that you'll get the move you're looking for to actually get paid on something. But basically, when the market kind of goes with high velocity right into a big level of context, and you get a complete auction right on the level, basically you just play it on that level in the short term, like a market maker. And if it doesn't work, you can allow for a little bit of breathing room around that area. But if it doesn't work, like if they keep going through it and they keep holding the bid and you have two-way trade and they keep hitting it and it won't budge and it continues going through, you get out right at that point. So gold continues to move up, and it seems that we are reclaiming most of this dump we've had here on this FOMC. We have this daily chart level that we've just reclaimed here, 1983.7 on the futures. Yeah, Connor gets it, man. He's typing some stuff about it. Do you have a Discord? Yeah, I have a Telegram, dude. YouTube hates Telegram, by the way. But it's basically t.me. Here it is. Ah, crap. Yeah, t.me/VerrilloTrading. That's the Telegram. And there's a group in there too. Yeah, I'm watching the DOM as well. I have it here. I'll show you. There's my little short scalp, and there's my crap long that I got actually pretty much destroyed on. The risk reward was pretty bad on that, actually. But no big issue. I was going small anyways because I don't normally trade gold futures, so I typically go small. I'll go small, so it's not a big deal. If I take a couple paper cuts, I'm willing to accept that. I think when I first got into futures, you guys probably already know this. I know my viewers, you're not a lot of like super absolute beginners. I'm sure there are because YouTube is mostly consisted of beginners. But when I first started trading futures, I was like, I was over managing. That's one mistake I was doing. trading too much short term, too zoomed in, over managing, not enough bankroll. You know what I mean? Not enough, bullets in the chamber. You know. But now I'm at a point where I have a few more bullets in the chamber. I'm a bit better at managing trades, so it gives you a higher probability of making money, I think. You understand, how setups develop, how they take time to play out, tracking a setup, allocating your bankroll in a setup, understanding how the market probabilities exist in multiple time frames. Because, you might be looking at one time frame and you say, okay, I like the way that looks. That's a pretty decent setup. I'm waiting for that to happen. And then you're sitting there trading it short term and too zoomed in. You're not considering that what you're looking at is on a different time frame than what you're trading on. So there's a lot to pay attention to. So gold is making its way back down. Oil is also still chopping in that range. USDCAD's chopping. Market's trying to make its way up higher, isn't it? The ESs are trading up there at the high of the range. We've had a 4-day bounce in the markets, and we're trading into a weekly level. Is that right on the NASDAQ there? I believe it is. Let me go to the ES chart. Yes, the ES has already reclaimed that. But if you look at the NASDAQ chart, let me look at that weekly chart. Where is this weekly level from? I don't clearly see where this is from. There must be missing some data on my chart here. Hold on. 100 days. Let's change this to no. It's missing. I have to re-download the data, and I'm not going to do that now. But yeah, there's a weekly level here on NASDAQ that comes from an earlier time that I can't see on the chart because I don't have the data downloaded. I have to do that later. I'll do that or at some point. But I think I'm able to do it just by doing going over to data trade service settings, non-tick data, change this to like, no, that's not it. Historical daily data at the bottom here. Let's see. Maximum historical data. Yeah, so that's not the problem. The problem is I think I just have to download the data. So I'll just do this. I'll do edit, delete all data and download. Where is it? And it still doesn't go back further than that. It's kind of weird. Must be a setting I'm missing in Sierra. What else is new? I'm gonna have to look at that one. Let me write it down just so I don't freaking forget. I'm gonna actually document that one too, because it's rare that I have problems with Sierra. I mean, after all, I am the self-proclaimed platform expert, right? Shouldn't be having problems with platforms, but that's the way it is. So okay. So what are you guys trading? What are you guys trading mostly these days? You guys trade stocks, trade crypto. Are you guys looking at crypto? I think there's a lot of opportunity in crypto, more than in other markets, I'll be honest with you. Though I haven't been looking at it too much because I've been super, well, excuses, right? Shut the hell up. Let's see what you guys are writing. So ES is moving like this due to lack of liquidity. Well, the liquidity will change based on so many different factors. We've had quite a slow year, I would say. I mean, the beginning of the year was very active, and then I think there was a lot of days in the middle of the year where it was very questionable activity in the broad markets in terms of volatility. Not a lot of intraday volatility. So we're a bit due for a bit of a a bit of a spike in volatility. So that could be one thing. Also, the what do you call it? The war narrative is definitely having an impact on some markets, even though it may not look like it in the short term. If you look at the trend of what some markets are doing, you can see that I think that the war narrative has something to do with it. Like, well, the USD against the CAD is one of them. Like, because normally, if you look historically, normally when you see USD CAD rally, it has to do with some global macro event. And for whatever reason, whenever there's some macro event involved, the Canadian dollar just absolutely gets decimated. And seems like we're starting to see that. We're starting to see signs of that happening. You know, as we're between we have some pretty big important context. I mean, if you want to look at the CAD dollar, you know, we have this very large trading range. And we're at the absolute high end of it now. Now it could just chill out here I think it might just chill out here because a lot of these prices haven't really been traded through. A lot of them is like quick pops and stop runs. So now the market is coming in here to, I guess, to do some business, to complete some trade. So the way it's trading now, USD CAD indicates that it wants to stay high for at least the midterm. That's what my analysis indicates to me. I don't think there's really any good probability. There's no really good edge here looking to go for shorts just yet. Now, the context can change very quickly. So it could happen that something happens overnight and then the context completely changes, and then I think the short trade is the best trade. But right now, as the way it's currently trading, it's accepting trade close to these 139s. So for me, that's indicating that I'm not really going to be in a rush to sell some USD. It's basically what I'm saying. I'm not in a rush to sell USD. If we see it pop up into 139.600 up to the 140s, damn right I'm going to sell some USD. You know, cash is king, baby. Cash is king. And some of you are going to say, what about inflation? What about inflation? It's always the same fucking shit, man. Did you guys watch my the video I did about sentiment? Go watch it. There's a few nuggets in that one. A few good nuggets. You need to set the contract to be continuous. Thanks, Mark. I think I did. I'm going to double check. Appreciate that, though. If I go to here, maybe he saw it and something I did not see. You're absolutely right, bro. You're absolutely right. Everybody, tip Mark right now, $5. Everybody. This music is dirty as fuck, dude. By the way, the stream is demonetized because I don't give a shit about copyrighted music. I'm so over that shit. Oh, look, let's do a copyright-free music because I need to make money from streaming. Nah, motherfuckers. Alright. I'll stop fucking around. I'm gonna actually change this chart to a continuous contract. Said I was supposed to do from the start. And that's gonna be under symbol, continuous contract. I should be showing you this. And I normally use volume-based rollover. Which rollovers do you guys use in Sierra Chart if you guys are Sierra Chart users? I use volume-based rollover, but I'm not sure if that's technically the correct one. But I think that's normally fine. Well, that didn't seem to fix the problem, unfortunately. I only have data to 2023. Kind of weird. Anyways, that didn't fix the problem, but it's all good. You can still give a tip to Mark. Forex baby US 30. US 30, that's not Forex, that's the Dow Jones, isn't it? Pikachu. Is Sierra really better than NinjaTrader? Well, it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of what you think, you know. I'm not going to sit here and say things are better than others. I mean, I tried NinjaTrader, but I never used it enough to really really, you know what I mean. Fuck. It's like you guys can finish my sentences for me. Come on, you already know. I'm just distracted by the chat. Monero is interesting. I don't know what that is, dude. What's Monero? I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat. You need to set the contract. Yeah, okay. I'm reading the same freaking messages. Man, I can't see clearly. I don't know what it is. As you guys, well, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I'm actually half blind without my glasses. And even with my glasses, I'm still about a quarter blind. It's insane. And I'm only fucking 29. Anyways, chart settings, symbol, but I've had that since I was a young kid, so it's not a problem. Still just ES, not sure when to spread my wings and trade other markets, Mr. Push Up. Yeah, man. Look, I see this pretty commonly with new traders. Is they stick to one market all the time. But I guess it's less common as you spend more time trading that you stick to one market. And there's even traders that will argue and say there's a negative edge expectancy always trading the same market. And I can potentially vouch for that based on something that I understand about the markets. But I think that the more in-depth your strategy is, because I've seen some traders that have very technical approaches that they have methods of sifting through the noise. So I think that if you have a good system that can sift through all the noise and really, go past the majority of time where the market is absolute noise doing nothing, then I think you can successfully trade one market. I guess this relates to the Lance Brightstein post. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. Here goes gold rallying up to its midday range here. And I just want to take a look at the footprint to see if I missed anything, because I don't think I did, to be honest. This was 49, came down to 1970. Then when it reclaimed that daily chart level. Wait a minute. Must be missing something here. Let me look at my 1 minute chart. Oh no, so no, that's what it is. So once it reclaimed, it just reclaimed and it went for a V-shaped rally the other way with a couple of good scalp opportunities on the short side. All of them were scalps. Now we're reclaiming back into the midday range, like I said. And just a quick piece of context. Back to the weekly chart. To the guy commenting about, do you use a weekly chart when you're day trading? Yes, you absolutely do, my friend. Yes, you absolutely do. That's a golden tidbit right there. So it's 1987.9 on the futures. And it's 1981.70 on that one, which are not quite there. 1987.9 weekly chart level. We're right there on the goal. Actually, we're 2 ticks away from it. 1988. I need to look at these micro golds. 1989. Oh, the micros traded it. 1989. What the hell's going on here? I'm looking at the micros trading a completely different price than the minis. The minis traded higher. The minis traded higher than the micros on gold. I always keep a chart for the micros. I always keep the micros going next to the minis. Some of you guys, this is a mistake, I think. It's a mistake to, if you're trading micros, it's a mistake to not look at the chart for the micros. Because the micros sometimes have different liquidity and they do extra little stop runs. You have to account for a little extra stop runs sometimes in the micros. I've traded micros for like 3 years, guys. I know what I'm talking about. But it's common for traders that, I don't want to have the micro chart. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to look at the volume. The volume doesn't matter. I agree. The volume doesn't impact the market. But it's still interesting because you can see liquidity providers put orders on the micros. Like right now, there's a 240 lot order sitting at 1990, 3 ticks above 1990 on gold. Not that that really means anything. They keep pulling it. I just saw them pull it and put it back. But it's just you see a bit of context into some of these game makers. So that's the kind of order sizes that they're working with. You know, they have 245 on the bid and they have 245 on the offer. Now apparently there's a 6,000 lot. Why does it say 5,000? That's fucking crazy. And it changed. Might be an iceberg. Because the market by order data said there were 6,000 orders at 1990 and 3 on the micros. And what I'm looking at, I'll just show you guys what I was looking at, which is this. I'm looking at this offer over here on the micros. And you can see also on the bid side, there he is again. I mean, I'm going to assume it's the same algorithm or the same liquidity provider that's doing that. But you can see there you go, this is 5,000. See, I'm not sure if that's a mistake or if that's... Oh, I think I know what it was. I was misreading it. I was just misreading it. Okay, gold's coming back in. What was it? 78.15. So what we had here, what we just had is a reclaim or an attempt to reclaim the midday range. We blasted through that weekly level and now we're reclaiming it on the short side. Reasonably speaking, there's an opportunity for a short trade here. 1987.9. There is an opportunity for a short trade here, I believe. If gold can hold below this level, 1987.9 weekly chart area, there's also a probability that we can just chop around this area right now, depending on if we just stay above it, it's going to increase the probability of chop. But we can also see a considerable amount of stop runs above this area. This, in fact, might be a stop run above this weekly chart level. There's a seller that came in right there, 79.9. We're back there on the bid, 79.9. Seller came right back in. We're bid at 79.9, which is that weekly level, 89.9, sorry. And there is an opportunity to sell it here, although I'm not too convinced. It's quite random. It's not really something I would trade. There's not enough confluence, but I will keep watching it. So we have new 15-minute zones that have formed now. Let me go back over to the left screen. $19.77 as well as 19.857. Those are two new 15-minute zones that are formed. So you could say that is okay. Gold is interesting. The price action in gold is very interesting because it's quite volatile. I like the way it's trading. Oil is doing nothing after the pit session close. Canadian dollar is doing nothing. It made a high and now it's coming back into its range. As you can see, it's been doing nothing all day. I think this market might continue moving overnight. If you guys have the chance to watch it overnight, maybe you want to do that. But I'm keeping my eyes on gold right now, and I want to look at cryptos too, because cryptos are awesome. If you need to smash, you guys need to smash the like button if you're enjoying the stream so far. And don't be shy to leave your comments. I accept any and all comments. Except for hate mail, then I throw them in the garbage, but that's okay. USDCAD mostly reacting to the sell-off in oil. Good point, Mark. Yeah, I did notice that as well. As oil was trending lower, it seemed to be helping the US dollar to move higher and the Canadian dollar to move lower for whatever reason. But oil was interesting. Oil was very interesting what it did today, actually, although I wasn't watching it this morning. But this was a very interesting move up into this, well, up into these, well, there was a lot of context right there around 83.28, 83.94, no, sorry, 82.94, 83.28, all that whole range up there where there's these weekly and daily levels intertwined. And I didn't put these levels there prior, they were already there. So it's just context. But it's very interesting the way it traded into there, and then we have a sell-off now. I think that was tradable. That was definitely tradable. But the thing about oil, because I think it's important to, well, one thing I've noticed as I've transitioned to being more of a swing trader is there's moments where the market, where you want to be paying attention to the market. And then again, this is if you trade the style where you're avoiding the noise in the markets. Because like I said earlier, there's some traders that stick around the same market all the time and they're able to sift through the noise and trade it, no matter what the market condition is. That's not really my style. I'll be honest with you guys, because I honestly do not have the time to do that. Because I have other, everyone has projects going on, right? So it's all about what works for you. So I typically, when I see that the market is in an area where I would avoid it for swing trading, I just avoid it. So for me, I thought that oil was in an avoid it type of scenario here. Like as soon as we were on this inside day right here, I was like, yeah, I know that oil is going to be avoided now for the next at least 2-3 days. Like oil is in a no trade. It's in a no trade zone for me, when we were on this day right here. Just because the context was too wonky. I mean, we've had this range up here going up higher for a while, and then we had the rollover, which took place right here. And then you have this 3-day sell-off, 4-day sell-off, and then it bounces, and now it's in a trading range. For me, that doesn't really indicate to me anything. I think the best trades, for me and my style, the best trades are before the general public has seen what the market has done. I like to think for my best swing trades, you have to be that much quicker than the rest of the people, and by the time everybody sees it, you need to be getting out. That's how I view it. And that's not like a golden rule, but in the general, it's a general rule. And then by the time everybody sees it, the context changes, and that can either cause continuation for your trade, or the trade will be negated completely, and maybe it'll come back all the way against you, or it'll be gone. So that's a general rule I like to follow. Is like I like to try and when you're doing your analysis, when you're looking at market and you're planning for scenarios, I like to think at least 2-3 steps ahead. Okay, what could happen if this happens, and then that, if that happens, then this, and you're prepared for multiple scenarios. Because if you're only there sitting and looking for one trade, I mean, the chances that one thing's going to play out is extremely low. I mean, you guys know how complex markets are, so you have to be ready for multiple things to happen. The more ready you are for things to happen, the more likely it is you can make money trading. Okay. And I don't need to show you a broker statement to prove that either, because it's just common sense. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. It's just about knowing your game, 8 carrots. Yeah, I have some in the fridge. I can go eat one. Should I eat one right now live in front of you? Monero crypto is actually anonymous. Wait, Monero crypto that is actually anonymous, privacy-based, prompt targeted at HEAM feds, but still in play for use cases. Dude, you need to make an in-depth video of this platform for people that have never used it. Pikachu, my man. I have lots of videos on Sierra, man. You can even find some on the video. Go to sierrachart.com/video library, and there's videos right there you can watch. And there's a few of them that are basic. There's one of them called Sierra Chart Basic Usage. You can watch that one. It's very basic, although I should probably do an updated one of that. And there's lots of videos you'll find that show basic uses of Sierra Chart, guys. I mean, I guess you could find... There's not a lot of great tutorials about Sierra Chart out there. There's a few good ones. You'll find a few good ones. But, what do you want to know? That's the question I want to ask you. Like you want an in-depth video of the platform, but what exactly do you want to know? because there are plenty of videos that show how to use the platform. You just have to watch them. And some of them are quite long, like an hour long. Some of them are short little videos. It's definitely not a user-friendly situation like TradingView. You know, you can't just like show up and everything works right off the bat. You know what I mean? It's a little complex. It's a little bit. It's quite a bit complex. But that's why I like it, because it's very customizable. And the data you get from it's very nice. Although they don't have all the data for every single market everywhere. But what platform does at the end of the day. It's one of my longer term plans to do some sort of an aggregate data feed, which is something I'm not even close to working on right now, but something I wanted to do, which I thought would be a cool little case study, which would be at least, you know, like something for crude oil would be pretty cool. Like, you know, aggregate some data, basically take, you know, 2-3 futures contracts, aggregate the volume, aggregate some CFD volume if they have it. But you know, you can argue, and I understand the argument pretty clearly as to why that's not really important. I think what is more important, at least from what I've noticed, is what seems to be important is context. And different markets have different side markets. So like, for example, for crude, you have your Brent crude oil, you have your WTI, you have your USO volume, you have your options and all that. So what I really mean when I say aggregate the volume is I don't want to aggregate the volume on all the futures contracts, because I find that would be not that interesting. But what would be more interesting is if you go and get the options volume. Options volume is something that's very fascinating. And I've also heard other traders talk about that too, where they have proprietary software in place where they can pick up when traders come in and like buy 1,000 lots of an option or something. So it would be cool to have a screen where you could see all the options, and you can have like a little scanner that goes off and it'll send you a telegram whenever someone goes and, okay, there's an alert now. These guys are buying on the at the money calls on USO. There's a buyer on the USO. So that gives you context, because you see, okay, they're buying the options. Where are we located? Where's our context? All that. So that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in terms of aggregating data. You know, get the options volume, get the ETF volume, get the futures volume, get the Forex CFD volume. Though I already can vision that ending up being a big train wreck. Because you have to manage all those different data feeds coming in, but it's like anything. You have to just work it out slowly and find the problems, which is something I seem to be quite good at, but I'm good at breaking things. Let's see here. I love TradingView, probably my favorite platform, but their trade execution for futures is horrible. Really? Is it really that bad, Pikachu? I thought it wasn't that bad. I tested it a few times. Cheers, dude. Cheers, Radu. I like your thumbnail. It's like some skeleton thing. It's pretty brutal. Let's go find a music track that fits this vibe right now. Actually, the song's called Undead. That fits your vibe, Radu. Is that funk? I like that. I like that. Yeah, it might be, Daniel. It might be. It's the music that took 2023 by storm. The one style that's associated with Andrew Tate. Another word for it is top G music. That was tradable on gold, by the way. I missed it. I was talking to Storm up. That was tradable where it the CFDs traded up to 1981.70. It's a tradable scalp right there for about 10 ticks, 12 ticks if you got lucky. Now we're moving down. Now, what could be interesting is if we see a very quick move down. What time are we? 3:30? Yeah, still possible. If we see a very quick move down here, we have 78 on the downside. Oh, there's a weekly level right there. It traded 87.9. Couple to scalp for you right there if you were aggressive. Though that's not the type of trade I'm looking for. There's not enough context in the back of that. But what would be more interesting is a quick move down to 1985.7. Although that's a little bit far-fetched at this point. As we can see, the volatility's contracting. $85.7. It's in play. I would say it's in play. But I also think the volatility is contracting. And we are right on the session VPOC on gold. So all of that is signaling to me that the volatility is more likely to contract. But we'll wait and see. I'm going to keep gold on the screen. I'm not going to switch around the charts because if I do, I'm going to get distracted again. Guys, give me 30 seconds. Okay, I just need to get some more water. Pikachu says, well, Sierra seems to be very customizable with thousands of options. I just want to get the idea about those options and see if it's worth it to go through its learning curve. So what I could say to that is, I guess just watch what other people use it for and how they describe certain nuances that they use it for, and just see if that matches what you're doing, you know. Like, because there's many layers to its functionality. There's many functionalities that it has. But I would say, you know, the main thing is probably the order flow data and the footprint chart, as well as the market depth data and market by order data that you can get. So, you know, like there's that platform Bookmap is one of them, where, you know, they show you, they market it as like, you see all the liquidity, right? You see all the bids, all the offers and all that, which is pretty cool. Sierra can do all that for sure. You just need a chart book customization that can do it. So you need to reach out to somebody who already has the template available, and they'll just send it to you, and then you should be able to have it working right away. The thing about Sierra that's complex for newbies is that you need, in order to, because there's the whole customization side of it. That's the part that trumps the newbies, because not everybody has time to sit there and start tweaking charts and start building footprints from the ground up. So I understand that some people just want the chart already ready. But I think that approach both approaches are good, guys. Come on, you're going to learn stuff no matter which way you go through it. When you sit down and you look at the customization options, you can see what's really available and what you can do with it. But I also think it's important to sit down and watch some traders the way they use it, and also get an idea of how it's used that way. You know, so I guess if I had to outline what's the best features of Sierra, it's number one is the trading functionalities are very good and very advanced and very customizable. So you can do, you know, various combinations of bracket orders. You can do automated trading, which is pretty easy to set up. But even if you don't do any kind of programming, you can set all that stuff up using control bars in Sierra, which are really powerful. You could set up custom bracket configurations for just about anything. A feature that I think is pretty useful is the scale in and scale out features, which I think some other platforms have. Like TradingView has it, they implemented it. Interactive Brokers does not have that feature, which annoys some traders. But basically it's the feature of when let's say you buy a one contract, you have a stop and a target, then when you put in your next buy order to add to your trade and it gets filled, it increases the size of your existing target and stop order by the amount that you added to your trade. So it doesn't add a brand new stop. That's called scale in. Scale out would be the same, which would be like if you manually decide to cut down some of your position, it'll go ahead and automatically adjust the size of your target and stop orders to match your new position quantity. That one is more useful. The scale out is more useful than scale in. Because I think with futures, and as gold trades into the VWAP again, I think with futures, it's fine to do things one contract at a time. At least I do. It depends on your bankroll and your size that you're trading and all that, but I do things one contract at a time. So I typically turn scale in off, and I use the scale out. So I'll do like I'll do what's called you guys know what I mean. I trade one contract at a time. That's it. Freak, it's not more complicated than that, Tabanak. So gold's recovering, although I'm not convinced. Just traded up into that weekly level again, second time. Is there an opportunity for a long or a short? I don't think there's much going on. I think it's pretty choppy. Oil seems to be recovering just a little bit, which is a little bit interesting to me. 81.19 seems to be a little bit interesting. On that 15-minute chart, it would be 80.79. We currently top ticked 80.61. And let me see. Everything is more, I would say, in the probability of the shorts. Still. Yeah, guys. I mean, look at oil real quickly here. CLF traded 80.61, and that's the front month. That's the front month. No, sorry, that's the back month. CLF, back month, right here. Front month right here. Back month doesn't have much volume, so we can't give that much weight to it. 81.19 could be a scalpable trade before the end of the session if we get there. If we see a continued reclaim, yep, 81.19 is, this is dope. Radu, I'm on full metal right now. Lorna Shore in my background. Yeah, that's sick, dude. Lorna Shore is not it's not my style really, but I am a metalhead too. Hey, this is pretty dope, man. I'm not watching gold anymore. It doesn't look that good. I mean, it's interesting, but I'll be interested if we trade back down to here. Yeah, if gold trades back down 1978.15, I'll be interested again in something. Right now, because it's the context is too wonky here. Because yeah, look, I mean, we're trading right into that weekly level. Nah, we're close to the session, center of the session. Nah, it's not. There's not. I don't like it. I don't like it. What I like is when the market gets extended. Those are my best trades. When the market gets extended right into a level of context, those are typically my best trades. That's a trade I look for the most. So what I'd like to see is, like, that's why I'd be interested in it if it were to start reclaiming quite fast down to 1978, 1977, there could be something scalpable there, counter trend, as well as CL, a quick move up to 81, above 81s could be interesting too. Although that might be short-lived, especially judging on what time it is. Canadian dollar is doing nothing, and that's pretty much it, guys. There's really not much else I'm watching. You know, the stock market seems to have continued its rally here. It's interesting, you know. One thing I thought was interesting about ES on Friday that I looked at this morning was the fact that it had traded into that weekly level, this one, 41.35 and a quarter, and you would have only got this as a buying opportunity if you were willing to hold over the weekend, which is not what most people will do, because obviously there's a war narrative and you never know, right? It could gap against you 100 points, so it is extremely risky. But I guess the moral of that story is the bigger the balls. I mean, you need big balls to make money. That's the moral of that story, I guess. But yeah, I mean, look, you see it traded into this area, which is what I would consider a weekly level of context. 81.35 and a quarter. Again, it's not a perfect level. It's a relative zone. And you can see we traded through that. And then comes the Sunday open, we've gapped up and we've never gone back. And then it sparked the rally. So interesting, right? I thought that was interesting, at least. It sparked the rally. The bigger the balls, the bigger withdrawals. Yeah, big one, man. True. The bigger the drawdowns too, though. That's why you gotta be careful. But you gotta have big balls when the time is right, my friend. That's why they make those products, like those products that you keep your balls and shaved and clean and that, because you got to keep your balls in shape, bro, for these big trades. You know what I'm saying? If you take one little loss and your balls shrivel up, bro, you ain't gonna make no money, bro. You know what I'm saying? Can you explain when you trade Forex / futures when you should trade Kramer? Kramer, bro, what are you doing here, bro? Get back on CNBC. What's Kramer doing here? Or maybe it's never mind. I'm thinking of Jim Cramer. Sorry, my mistake. I didn't mean that. I take it all back. The Kramer we have here is the Kramer from Seinfeld. That's a different Kramer. In that case, when you should trade Forex over futures, there's no set way. There's no set answer to that question, my friend. There's no set answer to when you should trade Forex or trade futures. I mean, look, futures are nice because they have good liquidity and they have good volatility in the short term. Gold's coming back in. Forex is basically, I mean, think of it. Why do people trade Forex other than, you know, get off of YouTube, get off of all FinTwit and all this crap, and then answer me the question, why do people trade Forex? And the primary answer should be, well, it's to exchange currency. To exchange currency, bro. Because you're whatever, you have a business and you want to exchange some currency. You know what I mean? That's a primary reason to trade Forex. A secondary reason for trading Forex would be speculation. I believe it's highly secondary, but I think it's also intertwined with the first reason. So it's not a simple answer. Forex is interesting, and it's just different. It is quite different, sir. When you should trade Forex versus futures? It's not a great question because it just depends. It depends on what markets have context. I believe in the fact that certain markets come into play and they're not always in play. So markets come in and out of play. So like that's why now, like these days, I've been keeping an eye on the markets that I wrote in the title, which is gold, crude, Canadian dollar, but also for crypto as well, which I have to make a chart book for Bitcoin. I had one a while back, but I have to make an updated one. Those are the ones that are more interesting to me lately. Every now and then you might get an opportunity in the stock indexes, but that's not what I primarily watch, but I keep an eye on them. So I believe in the fact that you need to kind of, well, I'm not going to say this is an end all be all, but I like to go where things are in play, where people are looking at it, because the more people you have looking at something, the more money is being thrown around. Could cause more volatility, could cause more opportunity. You guys understand where I'm coming from? And the more people look at the same markets, it causes more of a sentiment involved with that market. More people are looking at it, talking about it, getting emotional about it. You know, when everybody's emotional, that's when they typically make mistakes. They go too big. They think they know what the market's going to do, you know. So it plays into the whole sentiment thing. So I like trading in markets where everybody thinks they have big balls, you know. Everybody thinks that they're fucking Paul Tudor Jones, you know. The market decides. The market's always right. The market will decide, my friends. The market dictates what's going to happen. The market always decides. I'm going to read some comments now, guys. Because crude oil is doing nothing. Gold's in the center of the range. Crude oil is doing nothing. Okay. Kevin says, hello. Hello, Kevin. I migrated to Sierra Charts 6 months ago, and I love it. I appreciate all of your tutorials. There's no way I would have figured it out this fast without your videos. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Appreciate that a lot. There's more to come. There's a few more videos more to come, my friend. And I think they might be very helpful. I'll give you guys a quick spoiler. So there's a new feature that Sierra Chart released, which is called User-Controlled Profit and Loss Management, which basically allows you to set on, it's a feature controlled on the Sierra Chart servers related to their Teton order routing service for futures trading only. It's a feature that allows you to set limitations for your account that are separate from the clearing firm limitations. So clearing firms have limitations where they will obviously liquidate you if your account's under margin, like if you're going 80% drawdown in a day in your account and you're some sort of a degenerate. The clearing firms have their own checks for those types of things. But this new feature allows you to set limitations for your account, and it can lock you out of your account once you've reached those limits. There's risk limits as well as profit limits. And I think it's a pretty interesting little feature. Because again, it's just a feature that can take away some of the emotional aspect of trading. Because if you set I think it allows you to set a target on the day as well. So let's say you set a limit. Like let's say if you make, I don't know, $1,000 or $10,000, that's going to be your profit limit, right? If you make that much and you're in a trade, it'll close it. There's another feature that I think allows you to do some sort of like automatic, actually what it was is it's called trailing profit. I have to go and look at it. Anyways, this is a huge spoiler for an upcoming video, but it's from the highest point of where your profit, intraday open profit reaches, you can set a drawdown limit. So like, let's say it's, I don't remember if it's in ticks or in percent, but let's say it's in percent. So let's say your profit limit on the day is 10%. You made 10% in the day, good for you. You can set a trailing amount to be 2% below your profit limit. So if you reached your profit limit, or I'm not explaining it properly, forget it, I have to go over it anyways. But basically what it does is if it reaches that amount after reaching your limit, it's going to liquidate you. So it's like a trailing of your open profits. And once it's set, you can't control it, okay? I have homework to do. Mr. Pushup says, yes, trying to push 72s. I don't know. I'm not really watching ES. $72s? We're not really there yet. We're at 60, bro. 72s is a bit of a long shot. Considering we are 10 minutes away from 4 p.m., I'd say the probability of 72s is extremely close to 0. Hey Siri, shut up. Stop listening to my conversations. Fucking shit, man. This, don't you hate when Siri just fucking turns on randomly like that? Every day I get 1 inch closer to wanting to get a phone with Linux on it and get away from all this Apple and Microsoft spyware garbage. And that it reminds me of the comment that Pikachu guy wrote the other day. He's like, sell your laptop and buy an Apple, buy a MacBook, right? I mean, sure, I could do that, but why would I do that? First of all, I don't want a machine that has hardware limitations, that I can't upgrade it. I don't want a machine that has software limitations, it's proprietary software. In order to install Linux on a Mac, you can do that, but it's complicated and it's annoying. Whereas I may as well just get the dedicated hardware and install whichever operating system I want on it, even though it's not going to be fully supported, because now they make machines that are for specific operating systems, which is the way it is, I guess. Although they don't properly support them. I mean, look, ever since I got this laptop, I'm going to go on a rant now for a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds actually, but ever since I got this laptop, okay, I have a dual boot on it. I have Linux and Windows. And it's supposed to work on Windows. It works on Windows. It's designed to work on Windows, right? Windows 11. But guess what? It's broken on Windows 11. I didn't do anything. I just updated it to the latest version. And they broke the touchpad drivers. And it gets messed up with all kinds of whatever happens. It's not stable. Windows 11 is not stable on that machine. I installed Debian 12. I'm running Debian 12 with KDE Plasma Desktop. It's 100%, well, it's 90% stable. It's way more stable than Windows 11. It's freaking super stable, guys. Come on, like, I love it. I love it. My experience using Linux on this laptop so far has been absolutely almost nearly impeccable. I absolutely love it and enjoy it. It's such a great experience, especially with that OLED screen. It's fantastic. It's great. I love it. Can't complain. Hassan Kwazi, what's up, my man? He says, most underrated trader I came across on YouTube. That's cool, bro. I wouldn't say underrated. I'm just not overrated. You could say, call the other ones overrated. Mine is normal rated. The market decides. That's a quote from Patrick Bet David, my friends. The market is always right, no matter what industry you're in. Okay? If you don't get views, it's your fault. Unless you're being censored, that's a different problem. If you get 1 million views, that's your fault. The market always decides. If you think like that, you're never going to be fucking complaining all the time. Mr. Pushup says, I just saw your video on negative edge in Forex. I don't know why one would touch it except for the low margin. Well, look, Mr. Pushup, what I really was explaining in that video, because, man, this is what makes me cringe sometimes about content creation is there's no way. Content creation is very competitive. The only way to break through, sometimes I try and make videos where I try and break through, right? Try and break through the algorithm a little bit. Sometimes I succeed with that one, right? With that one, it got a lot of comments. I got a lot of, hey, watch out, that's not true, this is true, this is not true. It got a lot of comments, arguments, all that shit. You know what that's called? It's called stirring up flack on social media. It's called stirring up a sentiment, stirring up activity. I'm not so good at that. If I make 6 videos, maybe one of them will be like that. Even less, probably. I'm not good at stirring up flack. I'm actually not really interested in stirring up flack. I'm not interested in picking up flack, stirring up flack. I'd rather operate in the shadows and do my own business and just make a ton of money in my inner circle and just fucking chill out, you know, and just be a fucking low key, you know, low key, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about that video is what I was really mainly talking about in that Forex video is the fact that order flow is not really reliable. Like, you know what I mean is like, you know, you can on a futures contract you can pull up a time in sales and you can see approximately that there's a lot of volume going through and that the market looks like it's representing to some extent the order flow is impacting the market. Oh, there's an alert been triggered somewhere. Let's see. It's probably on gold. Is it on gold? Yep. Let's look at gold. Reclaim 1978. So we've traded right into it. We are close to 4 p.m. stock market close. 1977, that would be approximately, nope. Trading at 87s. About 13 ticks to the downside. Now about 20 ticks as it rallies through that range. Yeah. What was I saying about Forex? Yeah, it's just that it's because it's a multi-trillion-dollar instrument that you can't really use. You don't really use order flow to get an edge. You have to have a different understanding of the marketplace to get an edge. Not that there's no edge. Maybe I came across in that video that I said there was no edge in trading Forex. What I really meant is that there's no edge looking at order flow in Forex. The edge doesn't come from looking at order flow. You know, I'm not going to argue that I know where that there is an edge in Forex either because I've never profitably traded Forex. So except for currency conversions, right? I'm profitable in currency conversions because I always, you know, it's not that hard to do that actually. I mean, as long as you have like a good contextual view on the market and it's basically an incentive. When the market moves up in your favor, it's an incentive for you to sell because it's like part of your everyday business operations to take advantage of that. So when you view it from that standpoint, it's like, yeah, I'm a profitable currency trader, bro. But you're not profitable at trading price action in currency. That's a different story, you know. We're just talking shit, man. Fucking that's the thing about YouTube streams. It's just talking shit 90% of the time, and like every now and then you get a little nugget, isn't it? Hey Verrillo, would you be? Hey Ivan, he says, would you be willing to go over how you came up with your daily levels? Yeah, I can do that. It's not really that complex. I think I may have already a video that shows it. But I'm gonna skip over your comment temporarily and I'll come back to it. Yeah, Kevin, that's the feature I was talking about. I would like to have a built-in loss limit to prevent revenge trading. Exactly. So that's what Sierra has. It's a user-controlled server-side profit and loss management. $1985.7. $84.8 or what is it? I'm just looking at how long it's been chopping for. Yeah, gold's been chopping for quite a while. We have the stock market close in 2 minutes. There is a scalp opportunity here in the next 2 minutes potentially. It would be on the long side in gold. $1977 on the CFD. 1985.7 on the futures. Although it's not a perfect level because it's also a green line there. Happens to line up with, what is it lining up with? Prior day close? Midnight price. Ah, that's interesting. It lines right up with the midnight price. Midnight price is one of those Illuminati confirmed things. It's like just a level of context. Yeah, gold's chopping back up. It's lowering the probability that it's going to do anything. We have 1 minute now until the close. It could happen right now. Could also go the other way completely and just stay in this range, 1978. So I'm not really playing it until it comes to me. If it comes to me down at 1977s, I'd be interesting. 85 sevens on the futures. I'm looking at both charts. That's the way I do it. I have the, well, you guys can see my screen. I consider the futures as well as the CFD volume when I'm looking at a commodity like gold or crude. Okay. Because if you're looking at the futures, I think if you're looking only at the futures on a commodity, you're missing a bit of context. I mean, you're always going to be missing you're always going to be missing context. So it's like, you know, place your bets and place your best bets. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Market closes now, 4 p.m. Is it going to shoot down? 85.7. Is it going to shoot down? I'll buy it if it shoots down. No, it's holding 78s. It's not looking good for that trade. I was scouting. It's not looking good for that. It's not looking good. I don't think I'll trade that. It's 4 p.m. The volume looks like it just disappeared. There's no activity. While it still could happen, it's only been 1 minute past the close. It's considerably less likely. And the more it chops, the more likely it'll blow out to the downside. So that also decreases the probability of that trade working. So I'm going to move on from that idea. On to the next. Oil's doing nothing. Everything's doing nothing. I think that's a pretty much a wrap on the market, guys. I mean, there's always things that happen in the last hour of trading. There might be some earnings. Is there any earnings in this afternoon, guys? There might be. But I think commodities are pretty much done for the day. That bounce and reclaim of the daily chart level was interesting on the CFD. One thing that I noticed here is that I'm noticing now is that the futures dropped a lot more than the or no. What I did, I think I may have made a mistake. I'm going to just take a look at my charts real quick here. So this level on the CFDs is at 1972.05. The same level in the futures was at 1983.7. So the same level was in two different places because there's a mispricing between the futures and the commodity and the CFD. That's something that I take into account. And what it does is it gives you a range. For me, it gives me a range. So like 1972.05, really what I had to be considering, because I think when I entered it at 1983.7, I think what I was doing was I was buying it at 1981, which is where? Yeah, which is way down below that. I was playing on like the immediate reclaim of 1972.05. I was a bit early to the party on that. I was quite early to the party. And Mohit made an interesting comment. Right when I got stopped, that did mark the bottom. I got stopped at the bottom on that gold move, which is very interesting. It's actually awesome. It's a good learning tool, learning experience right there. I'm gonna look at that one a little bit. I'm gonna stare at it on my screen a little bit later. I sometimes hear traders that get like pissed off when they get stopped at the bottom or the top of a move. And obviously that's pretty normal because it feels like you got personally like attacked by the market. But you just have to understand that that's how the market works, guys. That's just how it works. I don't know. It's like not that complex. That's the way it works. It happens. It happens. It's not always going to happen. It happens that way sometimes. It's also the same fallacy as when you get when you sell at the top of a move or when you buy at the bottom of a move, right? It's a very typical thing to get excited about that. It's a new trader mistake. But you have to understand that over a balance of probabilities, that's not likely to happen. It's very unlikely to happen every time. And really that one time where you caught the top or caught the bottom, it doesn't make you a better or worse trader. And you shouldn't feel good about yourself or worse about yourself because you caught the top or the bottom. Because trading is not about catching tops and bottoms. You guys understand where I'm coming from? Let me read a few comments. Which trading apps are you using on for your funded accounts on Linux? Do they work as well as they do on Windows? So I haven't traded that much on my Linux system yet. I run Sierra Chart on Wine. I'm just testing it out though. Which trading apps are you using for your funded accounts? I use Interactive Brokers TWS. That one works on Linux. Yep, that's it. So I use TWS Sierra Chart. That's it. Those are the ones that I always use, man. Those are my things. That's my jam right there. Burger Gear, why? I'm not sure what he's asking why about. Mr. Push Up, because of all the exchanges versus futures that all run through the same exchange depending on the product. I'm not so sure what he's talking about. So I'm Forex, you're only seeing the order flow per the exchange you're using, but there may be more liquidity coming through other exchanges. Did I say that right? Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, it's the same for crypto as well. So when you go to one of those crypto sites, I think it's Binance Smart Chain or Etherscan, yeah, you can see basically which exchanges have the most volume. So you can see where, how much volume is trading on each exchange. Same thing in Forex, except that in Forex, nothing is centralized. You don't even know how many exchanges there are. Everybody has their own practice. Everyone is their own exchange, basically. So if you look at it in that way, you can think of it as like, okay, there's actually a lot more inefficiencies here than I thought. And it all depends on the market that you're in. So I'm sure that these guys that run currency exchanges at the airport, they make loads of money on that because they're always running a big spread because they can afford to run a big spread because they have the location for it. So if the exchange rate is, let's say the spot rate on CAD USD is 1.39, these guys are working it at 140, 138. They're working a 1 cent spread on the dollar at least. They're making big money, basically, big money. I'd say probably even more than that, like maybe a 1 to 2 cent spread for per every dollar. So that's an example of them capturing an inefficiency because they have the ability to capture that inefficiency. If you're a Forex retail trader showing up and you just want to trade the market, you're not capturing any inefficiency because you're trading with your broker and your broker's already, well, whatever market makers are on that exchange, they're already there capturing all the inefficiencies. So you have to think about inefficiencies in a different way when you're trading in a retail method. So I think that there's plenty of ways to make money. There's plenty of different inefficiencies you can capture. You just have to think outside the box a bit, as I was telling you guys a bit about before about like how I think about the CAD USD. I think of it like from the perspective of like a business, the way businesses operate in Canada and the United States. Because most of the time you're going to see people come in and sell. And that's what causes the exchange rate to be kind of range bound most of the time. Because people are always trading it back and forth. When it goes up, you'll see businesses come in and take advantage of that. When it goes down, you'll see people come in and take advantage of that. So it causes the more range bound activity. Though I might be wrong. the war narrative is definitely, I think, contributing to the fact of the Canadian dollar selling off. So let's see here. Favorite markets to trade. I'm looking for more to test other than ES, CL, and NQ. Robert. Hey, Robert. There's not really much, man, for futures. There's not much. You have your gold, you have your you have crude oil, you have gold, you have your indices, which you already mentioned. You have you have other commodities like corn and stuff, but I never touch those. Those are more commercials, dominated by commercials. You know, you got your bonds, Mr. Pushup's naming them yet. You got your bonds, your currency futures. Bonds are interesting sometimes of the year. I traded them for a year and a half. I traded bonds only. And what I learned in that time was a lot. I learned a lot about the efficiency of markets. I learned about how efficient markets work. If anyone asks me, what market should you use to learn order flow and get a feel for like futures order flow, I would say bonds, because they move pretty slow, and you could, if you sit there and watch them for long enough, you're just gonna see like how efficient they truly are. So that it gives you a picture on the scale of like super efficient markets to less efficient markets. And I think as a trader, you have to understand that balance, because you're trying to capture an efficiency. So you need to know what really efficient markets look like, what really inefficient markets look like, and then you can go and kind of fit in somewhere in the middle and find what works for you. But bonds are nice for if you're trying to study efficient markets. Oh, we're at -7 exposure. Crap, we gotta increase that a bit. I didn't realize how fucking underexposed we were. There we go. That'll be better. We need some music. Too cheesy. This, let me play you the track, guys. This is the most addicting song ever made. I don't know why. This is the 2023 Christian Bale anthem. And by the way, the stream is not being monetized. At least I think ads are on, but they're gonna get turned off because I'm playing all kinds of copyrighted music. So addicting, dude. This melody is the most addicting melody, by the way. My coffee cup's empty. That's a big problem. Favorite futures markets, I already answered that. So from trading ES, what would you watch for the correlations? I don't know, man. For the ES, you would watch the NASDAQ and the Russell. You could watch the VIX too. But the most typical ones are the NASDAQ and the Russell. And yeah, those are the ones that most people are watching. NASDAQ and ES are like hand in hand. They move together. Well, they're like yin and yang to some degree. The Russell's like the little oddball on the side that can cause the market to move too. And then the YM is like the 30 Dow Jones stocks, which some people watch it, some people don't. I don't really know. I don't trade the indices too much these days. I keep an eye on them, but I don't watch them that much. Qualcomm just released. So you see limit orders pulling without orders in the bid-ask, currency futures bonds. Guyman, I don't know what Guyman you mean by that that comment. Currency futures soybean, yeah, so all that, yeah, cool. Okay, so let's see here. It looks like the markets are closed. We had a couple trades in gold, lost a little bit of money, not too much. It was a couple of paper cuts. That's pretty much it. I guess you could say I mismanaged it, but it was also kind of hard to catch that move down near these 72s, which is what everybody was looking for. I may have had to have a little bit more breathing room on that, but anyways, I think I mismanaged it. I'm going to look at it. Like I said, I'm going to go stare at it and look at it. Nowadays, you only trade CL. No, that's not true. No, I trade a bunch of things. I manage my money in different ways. Let's just say that. I have some money in crypto. I have some money in stocks. No, not really stocks. I pulled out. I used to have. I had I guess I had a bunch of real estate positions, real estate trusts. I sold all those this year. Um, Mostly small break evens that I ended up taking on them. I was collecting dividends on those for a few years. Um, and when I saw that the market conditions have changed, I decided that I wanted to sell those out. Um, I'm mostly in cash, to be honest. Not in hard cold cash though. Not in like my cash is earning interest. One of them is on a crypto exchange. The other one is for trading. I mostly have cash on the side waiting to buy dips, I'd say. Like in specific stocks, specific plays that I'm looking for. In the meantime, I have cash earning interest on a crypto exchange, like I said. And that's pretty much it. There's this whole stigma about interest and cash and all that. Like I'm by no means wealthy in terms of like I'm not fucking loaded, right? I mean I'm a bit rich, but I'm not wealthy, you know what I mean? And I saw a funny short video last time because you guys watched my video about sentiment. If you didn't, go watch it and go like it, please. I give a shout out to my editor who's been helping me a lot. What I was gonna say about that is that I watched a short video of a guy talking about how he's mostly in cash, and he was one of these like big influencers, right? Like, and these guys take mega flack on social media, right? So the guy comes out and he's like, I don't own any real estate. I'm all in cash, right? And you should have seen the comment section. It was all bunch of haters. This guy doesn't know what inflation is. This guy's. It was a lot of flack, over and over and over again. What that tells me, it's interesting. It means that most people were not in agreement to his idea. Does that make sense? And when I see that a lot of people are not in agreement to a sentiment, it makes you want to fade the sentiment. I personally think cash is not a bad position. Depending on your circumstances, depending on what if you're kind of like a nomad, if you make money online, whatever. Cash is not a bad position. Cash is a good position, my friends. I mean, you need cash for everything, bro. To go, come on, you need a lot of cash. You need a lot of cash. But there's a difference between having $1 million in cash doing nothing. That's not the same as having cash to live your life, you know? So I guess with YouTube Shorts, people always misinterpret the thesis of the video because there's always multiple ways to share a point. So if you say one thing, there's always going to be like a counter argument, but you forgot about this. But what I do think in the current environment we're in, and I'm limited to my own bubble, right? My own bubble of where I am here. And so most people here are not wealthy. Most people here are not crushing it. They're not. They're pretty. You know, there's a lot of families. You know, people buy condos. People live in condos. They pay their mortgage. I guess you could say younger people in my generation, they rent more than they buy, which is not a bad thing because home prices are insane. But the main thesis, so what was I trying to get at with that? I was trying to get at the fact that in the way the world has evolved now, I think cash is a great position. I think that if you have cash, you're in a good position. If you earn cash and you have cash and you're in a great position because you can move around. You're flexible. You're nomadic. You're not limited to. You're not tied down. You know, like I don't want to be tied down. I want to move around. I want to be flexible. I want to be able to pay people to do things. By the way, if any of you are creative, if you find that you're good in creativity and graphic design, you know, like reach out to me, because I'm always looking for people to work with. Like this year, I hired 2 editors for my channel. And even though I still do most of the editing myself, which is so fucking counterintuitive, right? But because I'm so peculiar with the audio crossfading in my videos, like, yeah, they have to be done perfectly. So the audio crossfading is all done by me still. And I do like the majority of the editing, and then I'll send it over to that guy and he'll do the VFX, you know, which I think is pretty cool. But if you guys do graphic design, you know, I don't know who's watching this. Probably you guys are way more experienced than me, right? But who knows? If you haven't already pressed like, do that, because it helps out the stream and helps more people see it. But if I'm going to end the stream on this, which is basically my thesis about if you're a young freelancer and you want to make money. If I was, so I go back, say go back 6-7 years from now, right? You're a different person. You think about the world differently. But let's say you're in your early 20s or mid 20s or maybe 30, whatever. I don't know. You're a young person, right? You wanna make money as a freelancer. Let's say that's your goal, right? I know it's a bit off topic from trading, but I guess in the online, you know, trading, making money, it's all kind of related. It's all interrelated. What I would say to a younger person who's getting started as a freelancer and they want to make money, you have to go and find people that are doing stuff like that have a position of status, and you have to look at what they're doing and you have to try and add value to them. So what I would do, if someone reached out to me and said, hey, do you need this? Hey, do you need that? Hey, do you need this? You need a graphic design? Do you need a video editor? The 2 video editors that I hired, they reached out to me. So the example there is, if you want to make money as a freelancer, you need to go out and reach out to people and show them your work. Show them your work and show them what you do. And you will make money. Someone's going to bite, you know? So if you guys are, I'm always looking for talented people. I like making money, but you know what I like better than making money? I like spending money, or I guess you could say investing money into talented people. That's all. Because I appreciate the skills that they've worked for. You know, I've played guitar since I was 11 years old. I spent 10 years of my life playing guitar. I know what it is to work hard for something. Okay? So when I see people that have skills like that, I could spot it, right? So your talent will not go unnoticed. Whatever you're skilled in, you have to go out and reach out to places that can use your skills. Reach out to them. This is what I do. Check it out. Do you need this? Just put your foot in the door. That's all you need to do. That's my advice to young freelancers. All right. Thank you for watching. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great rest of the evening. And I'll see you later. Cheers. Bye.